Stream started and then we'll get going. Here it goes.
Hey Ash, is it okay that I scoff down my food? I'm going to eat a Caesar salad and some well, I already swallowed the chicken. I swallowed it whole. I inhaled it actually. It was some rotisserie chicken and I just inhaled it. This looks a little cleaner eating it, but anyway, I'm going to eat.
Oh, Phyllis, you should see some of the meals I've eaten during the 8-hour master days. And then I'm like,
Oh,
wow, I really forget that all of you are there and I'm just really digging in. So enjoy.
okay. Thank you. I will.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Obvio Q&A. We never quite know where it will go. And so it's good to have you here. Let me check in first with if there's any questions. Yes. So Lisa, a couple of hours ago. Yeah. Oh, hey Lisa, you're here. you put your question in. I like it. I like how it starts. Since Obvio is the bomb, what functions does it not offer that I need to use other platforms for? And what platforms do you recommend for simplest integration? Well, Lisa, where do you feel like it's lacking? Is there anything that you
No,
need?
the question really comes from so many times during the classes. Blue will talk about all these different platforms and says you don't need it. Well, you can use it. You don't. And I just got very confused because I'm new to this. So
Yep.
I was thinking, okay, so we need Avio and let's say, ClickFunnels or MBS. And within that are all the things you need to do because, people have started with Kajabi and all these different ones over the years, and they're trying to integrate. So since I'm at the beautiful place of I can make any choice I want, I figured I'd like to hear your input on
Sure.
which way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And it's a great question. And it does get confusing because we're talking about different integrations all the time with different CRMs. And we had this very similar type of question last week where someone was just saying, I'm stuck as to I don't know which way to go and why do I need this other service to make it all work, right?
Mhm.
And so what's important to say? It's interesting. I attended a coaching program online this week. Has nothing to do with Obvio or anything. It was just a coaching program about coaching. And I was interested in the content, but I was also interested in what their workflow was and how the sort of the event ran and
Right.
the way it worked. So the sign up process was really straightforward. And then I got lots of reminders and I had text messages and emails and things. When it came to joining Zoom, I knew it was on Zoom. I had to follow a link and it took me to a Zoom registration and I had to type in all my registration details again. And then it dropped me into Zoom. So I use this as an example of saying this is one of those key areas that we wanted to remove with Obvio. Once we've got people's information, we don't want them to have to enter it again. And we don't want them to have to enter passwords or jump through hoops with Zoom or whatever it is, right? And so that's the key function that Obvio is serving is a seamless process for people to get into Zoom, which meant that the name is maintained. You can see that, the name in Zoom, and also you have a home for the event. Blue sometimes calls it a temporary membership site, where here's this group of people that have gathered for this event, and that Obvio dashboard is the home or the membership site for them for that time. It means that it covers anything, any information that they need for before the event, during the event, and after it. It's a so much better experience. That's the other thing that happened with this event. They put everyone in the waiting room at the start, and then opened the doors right at the time at the start of the event. And which means that you're sitting there for however long you turned up early, looking at the host has started the meeting. We have let them know that you are here. Right. You're in the waiting room, right? It's not a great experience. And so by having a dashboard, you can have video, you can have text, you have resources, you have a bunch of stuff that creates a great experience for people. And then even with an offline message, even if they try to join and they hit the Zoom button to join your Zoom meeting through Obvio, you can have a nice customized offline message that says, we haven't opened yet, but make sure you grab these resources or watch this video or any of that, right? Now, I'm probably just totally telling you everything you already know about Obvio, but I'm building up the foundation of them. What else do you need?
Building up the bomb.
That's right. I'm building up the bomb. So that's the key function that Obvio handles. There's a few extra things in there, like Zoom attendance and being able to sort of track how much people have been in Zoom and things like that. We've tried to make that a bit easier as well. And doing that particularly because we believe in multi-day events, that coming back, same links, coming back to the same place, that whole process is very easy and familiar for people. So in order to make that happen, you need a way for people to sign up. So whether it's free or paid, people need to be able to sign up and pay, and then get their emails. Now, in Obvio, we have those two functions built out, particularly the communications or broadcast module, where you can send your emails out to everyone with their dashboard link. And you can schedule those and you can send the emails there. You can send text messages through Obvio. You can do that. And you can send welcome emails. So as soon as somebody signs up, you can send them a thank you email. You're all registered, and that's great, right? So there's some couple of those key functions that is handy for an event. And we do have the marketplace module, which arguably it is still in beta, and we're in a bit of a transition period moving that to a new thing. But the concept of that is to be able to build a sales page. Free or paid event, you can create a sales page, get people to sign up and pay if it is a paid event. So we've tried to make those entry-level requirements so that you don't need anything else to run your event, particularly your first, second event, whatever it is. You can just do it in Obvio and make it work. However, what Obvio is not is it's not a CRM. It's not a customer relationship management system. And what that means is, while you are collecting all the data and you've got all your attendees and registration details in Obvio, what you don't have, or all you have, is that one event. What you don't have is any interaction that you might have with that customer or, with that client. And of course, you don't have a single place where you have that ongoing history of that client.
Sergeant station.
Sally's got bored, so she's just turned on the TV. So see how that's where a CRM comes in. Okay. And when it comes in is entirely up to you. But there is an argument to be made that if you set that up right from the start with your first event, you probably won't be upset by doing that, right? Because you will have all the data. When you go and look at one of those customers or clients, you'll be able to see that they first signed up here, they received these emails, they then attended my first event, and then they did this, and then we had some interaction with them and they bought this, and then whatever it is, right? Particularly if you are wanting to sell your whatever your service is, you're going to want to do that through a CRM, right? Whatever, and that's a key part as well. If you're selling some sort of service or product, you're going to want to have a CRM to do that, to take their money, to take their subscription, whatever that is that you're selling. Obvio is not that. Obvio is built around buying a ticket for an event, executing that event, but it's not about that ongoing. So you can see the little gap. Obvio is never going to be a CRM. That's not, because, as we clearly have shown, there's many very good CRMs out there, and we don't need to cover that space, which is why we just integrate with them. So to get then to the point, we have whatever it is, 7 or 8 now, that we support, and we could have people who use each one of those on a panel, and they would probably all talk about how great the one they use is. It's like, this is the reason I love this one, and they'll all make their cases. Lots of them vary in pricing, quite a lot. We have seen that like Keep, which used to be Infusionsoft, is quite expensive, but is actually used for a lot of really large events. Similarly with HubSpot, that can add up as well. What we're seeing is quite a lot of people using High Level now, either directly as branded as High Level or as sub brands, and there's sort of resellers. There's quite a handful of those that are using High Level under another name. And if you do happen to find one of those that are sort of rebranding it, the integration will still work with Obvio, because that's the engine that drives it all. I've just started using High Level and am really liking it, and so it's certainly not for anyone to push a particular CRM. And the hard thing is it's like trying to compare like literally apples for apples, and often is the case, and then trying to see what the differences are. And we can probably every week we could be talking about the differences between them. My encouragement to you would be to have a CRM in place, and the reason is that if it works big, it works small. Whatever you do, whatever systems you put in place for your event with 10 people that show up, or 100 people, it's going to work the same if you have 1,000 people. So if you plan for what are the sort of systems that I'll put in place to manage 1,000 people, and then do that right from the start, I don't think it's wasted time. Mm-hmm. And you'll maintain all of that history of all the clients. That was very long-winded answer to your question, but it was. I'm trying to paint the full picture so that you know exactly the things that you need, because we're often talking about the tools that you need in your toolkit to make all this work. And a CRM is really key to what you're doing. So just to finally connect those last dots, when you do have a CRM in place and you tie the integration in with Obvio, now all of your emails will go through the CRM, because however you set it up, and they're all pretty similar in this process, and that is that you define a tag in the CRM in the contact, You define what that is. Obvio is looking for that tag. If it sees it, it takes the first name, last name, and email, creates an attendee in Obvio, and sends back their magic link to be able to join your dashboard. You will then use that as a custom field in your emails and say, here's the URL, here's your unique link to join the event. And that's how that's how that whole kind of circle fits. The system fits together with a CRM and Obvio.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That
Any
was
questions on
very,
that, or did I just confuse you?
no, no. Did you get a haircut? That's my question.
I did. I did my
Yeah,
hair.
you did. It looks very nice.
Lisa's like, now I didn't hear anything because I was just looking at your hair. Can you just repeat that?
Not heard it all. Got it all.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so if you look at High Level is very competitive at the moment. Their pricing is competitive, and also they are a very large company that covers many industries, and so they have a lot of modules that that work in different areas. Jason, I'm interested in your thoughts. You can, if you're happy to share,
Sure.
as far as the differences and things, what you would recommend.
I think there's a lot of truth to what you said earlier when you said, you know, that you could 7 panelists up on stage talking about HubSpot, ClickFunnels, High Level, all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, they're great. They are actually all really good platforms. If budget isn't an issue, right? So, full disclosure for those people who don't know, I do kind of work for ClickFunnels, sort of. Not exactly ClickFunnels. It's actually split up into 2 companies now. The prime mover side, which is the coaching side, but I used to be on the ClickFunnels side before it split. So, but I always advise people totally impartially. If budget weren't an issue, I would say you use ClickFunnels for the front end, for all of the funnels, and High Level for the CRM part, or some of the CRM part, not all of it, right? For certain parts of it, because I like to Frankenstein the stuff together. Because at the end of the day, if it really comes down to it, ClickFunnels is $97 a month, and High Level is $97 a month, right?
Pretty similar.
It's $200. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things to have like a full solution. But for most people in, let's say, Leap, not everyone here is in Leap perhaps, but here's what I'll say. Sorry, I've got cats who are trying to open the door and then close the door and open the door. Oh my God, the lions. Cats. So if you here's the thing with High Level, you've got to understand that you are not meant to get a High Level account from High Level unless you're an agency intending to service other people underneath you in sub-locations, right? Which means that 99% of the people here are not allowed to be getting High Level accounts. You must get a sub account from somebody who's white label, which means you are then dependent on getting support from that white label agency directly. And they might be useless. They might have seen a webinar of High Level and thought, this is a really good idea. I'm going to get an agency account. They get 5 customers and they realize, holy crap, I've got to support all these people who've got sub-locations and I haven't even figured out how to integrate a domain in it yet, right? So you have to be really careful. So if you ever see like some deal from somebody saying, hey, get a lifetime deal for $47, which by the way is against terms of service, they're not meant to be doing that. What ends up happening is they realize that they run out of puff and then they end up shutting down because they can't cover their own fees, and then you're totally screwed, right? So If you get a ClickFunnels account, that's never going to happen to you. You are getting it directly from the company. You're getting support directly from the company, from the support teams. And so I'm not hating on high level. I'm just bringing awareness to understand, so you understand what the difference is between getting a high level account and a sub-location from a white label agency and what it means to get ClickFunnels. Now, what you do afterwards is entirely up to you, right? It's entirely your call. But in terms of funnels, high level is like ClickFunnels Classic 11 years ago, right?
Yeah, which makes
ClickFunnels
sense because we're talking about two different things when a little bit when we talk about a classic CRM and then like a sales funnel process, like building out pages, selling products, that whole thing with abandoned carts, all this sort of stuff that happens is, and I can totally see that ClickFunnels has that in the bag, right?
Oh yeah, I mean they're totally the absolute market leader on the front end funnels. However, high level has been working on the CRM part for 7 years, right? So that's why I say if budget is not a problem and you don't mind using Zapier, and we're just addicted to using Zapier and now N8N and other things, then we sort of connect them together and we love, I don't know, I'm a tech geek. But if you don't want that complexity, I still recommend for most of the people here just to get ClickFunnels account because the funnels are way better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. It's good observations. One of the things I just recently did. I've got an event actually kind of similar to this where we do it every week, and it's kind of like a podcast type idea, but it's just a Q&A for another product. And I wanted the emails to send every week automatically, and it's really tricky. There was no real schedule to do that in high level until I worked out the RSS feed, and so then I've hacked the RSS feed, so now it does send automatically and sends the last couple of episodes. There's the things. So every week, it sends out the 4 hours to go, and then we're live now, set up as a RSS feed. So it was a nice way to do it. There's always these little things, these little workarounds. Jason just mentioned Zapier as well, and so Zapier kind of connects all these different services together. If you want to, you can do some very advanced level moves in just a kind of drag and drop kind of situation. Obvio also has an integration with Zapier, and so you can connect with, that's what we say, 7,000 other services, online services, to Obvio with Zapier. And so that's something there as well, that you can tie all these different services together. So we used your question as a springboard, Lisa, but hopefully that kind of gives you something to mull over.
Does. Thank you both.
No worries. All right. Dr. Sally came up with a question. Oh, yes. You turn the TV off now. You tune back into us.
My apologies. I forgot that I was unmuted. And actually, the full explanation was, as I was watching the news, as I came into Obvio, and I put it on pause instead of turning it off. And suddenly, the newscaster started talking again. So it was not boredom. However, I will not give you a long-winded explanation, given the length of time I've been part of LEAP, about how I feel I'm still at an infant in Obvio. However, I am making some incremental progress. And coincidentally, Blue did a very quick demo in our Ask Me Anything yesterday, but he went quite fast. And what he was showing was exactly something I wanted to do. And I don't think that recording is live yet. So I'll tell you what I'm doing to learn to navigate the platform. Is there are several people in my ACE pod who meet every week, not just once a month with the pod. And we're a working group and we support each other. And so I want to use Obvio to create a regular meeting. So I've got as far as adding attendees with their emails, which gave them each an individual link. But I believe what Blue was showing yesterday, and he went too fast, is you could create a single link, and I could give all 4 of the people one link. Did I understand what he was trying to show yesterday? And is there convenience or value in doing that?
Yes, there's convenience. It's convenient for you, right? So it's convenient to be able to send out the same link to everyone. It adds a little level of friction for each person, because they've got to now enter their details each time they join, right?
Oh, okay.
Versus being able to click a link and it takes them straight to their dashboard.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I do like that second option better. It's just that I was hoping it would be convenient for both myself as now the host and attendees, but
yeah,
Blue did show
look,
how to do that.
it still might be an okay way to do it. It just depends on how you plan to send the notifications, and if you plan to send reminders for people, as an example, then creating a broadcast schedule that sends that link out for you could be a way to do it. Muddy, have you got a take on this?
Yeah, I think what you may be referencing was a question about a webinar, and someone was talking about, I'm doing a webinar just in Zoom, but then I don't really have the recordings that I want, and I don't want to take all the time to build out a whole dashboard. And Blue said, well, there's kind of a happy medium, which is you can use Obvio, but if you use a direct access link to the Zoom room, you essentially bypass the dashboard. So you don't have to build a whole dashboard, but you're still using Zoom within the Obvio container. And so that's what the example was about. And so what he was showing was how to find and use what's now called a direct access link, that you can send to everyone, and it just brings them to a page where they have to put in first name, last name, email, and click join room, and then they're right in Zoom. And so that was kind of a way to harness some of the powers of Obvio without taking the time to build out a whole dashboard. But it was in the context of a webinar, so not where you don't want to have a whole dashboard.
Right. Well, I don't think for my purpose I need a full dashboard either, because my thought was that my ACE pod members who are going to meet weekly will know that we're meeting weekly. And then if they just have a single link, then they can join all the time. But it was also for me to have some hands-on practice navigating Obvio and some of the options. And I don't want a bunch of shortcuts that in the long run don't serve me. But if in this case it served for my innovator group to meet regularly, that's what I wanted to do. And I guess my second question is, Blue did show this, and I didn't go back and watch the training in Members Hub, is then, so let's say I just stay as I am. I've added the attendees. They have their their individual links. Is the next step then to connect this event to Zoom? No.
Nice. Okay. No. Okay. I thought I had it. Look, it's close. I mean, so the Zoom is integrated into Obvio, and so what it requires is setting up in a Zoom area, and that Zoom area will set up a Zoom room. Once you have that, you can now create a button on the dashboard that connects people into Zoom. So
is that still my next step, is to create the Zoom area now that I have the attendees added?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And we can have a look at that. Doing this process is going to help you understand it all. And I really appreciate what you're doing in just trying to use something that already exists. It's something that you're doing every week, and move it into Obvio and kind of force yourself to make it work. And it's a great way of learning it. It really is, because you can always add some things and try a couple of little things each week. So it's a great way of doing it. And you're spot on with yes, we can create a direct access link that essentially takes them straight into Zoom, and we can do that. And the slight advantage of that over just a standard Zoom meeting is that you do have a branded registration page, if you want to call it that, right? You put a logo on it, you have first name, last name, email. They put that in. Thanks, Lisa. And then you are able to, once they enter that in, they go straight into Zoom. So it's a slight step up from just another Zoom meeting. It does tie into Obvio, which means, as Muddy was saying as well, the person was saying about having recordings and things like that, all tied into that event. So, but I think with what you're saying, that it makes sense that you go the full system of having the dashboard experience, so that you can experience what that is like for an event where they will go to the dashboard, see some content, maybe they can see an agenda and some timings and things like that. And if you potentially have some recordings or whatever, there's some videos on there as well. And then the key thing is that there's a Zoom button there that gets them into Zoom. So I'll show you a couple of things. Just so you're kind of doing it yourself, so you're able to do it yourself. But you'll come into Zoom areas, and if you create a new area, a new area will automatically, you'll see this one here has automatically created a room within that area. So there's really nothing else to do here. You've done what you need. You've got a Zoom meeting. You've got it in an area. An area is always what a button is going to send people to, not directly to a Zoom room, but a Zoom area, which can be one or many Zoom rooms. And that's how we can scale up and have big, large events. So once we have that, I've got an area now, Dr. Grant. And if we go to the dashboard here, this is how you got into this event now, right? We're looking at the event that we're in together, and you hit this button. That's what got you into Zoom right now. And so if I was to create a new button, whatever I wanted to do, sometimes we like choosing an icon as like, it kind of makes it clear. What's the one I normally use? I thought it was camera. What's the other one? Video. Yeah, there we go. We sometimes use these ones as a little icon. And then when we come down here, with any button, you can do a number of different things here. You could just put in a link to an external website if you wanted to. That's the default thing that it's saying. But if we hit join area, now it says pick what area you want. So Dr. Grant. And that's it. I've now got a button on the dashboard for people to join that. And it's got that little icon there that makes it look like a bit like Zoom, which just helps. And I mean, we've even got it here, join event Zoom meeting, even saying Zoom. Often we avoid using the term Zoom, but sometimes we just want to make it really clear. And that's all you need, right? That's all you need. Just going to remove that. What happens is on the event day, you would come to the Zoom area, Dr. Grant, you would toggle this open room and hit start. When you do that, you will open, it will open Zoom and you'll be the host. Okay. The other key thing, particularly when you first create a Zoom area, is that the area is closed. So no matter what you're doing in the room, when the area is closed, people will get an offline message. The offline message is here, offline text. Now it will just default to your room is offline, but you can customize this. You can put whatever you want in there to be the offline message, which you might have seen because I started this right on time. You might have seen the offline message.
For this little exercise I'm doing then, where I get our innovator group to meet weekly, prior to the time, I need to come in each week and open that Zoom area. Okay.
Correct. Well,
okay.
Yeah. What happens with this is once you open this area, you could probably just leave it open, right?
Okay.
And it will just stay open all the time, and it will know that it's like there's a couple of steps that it's looking for. It's making sure that a room is open and online. There's a host in there, and it's making sure that the area is open. And so, if the area is open but a room hasn't been started, it'll go to offline.
Okay.
Right, which is what happened with this meeting. So when I do it, I just leave the area open. I come in and start the meeting. As soon as it starts, if people are sitting on that offline page, it does check every so often and we'll redirect them and take them into Zoom once it becomes available.
Okay.
So you could leave the area open and just come start the meeting and go. The times that you might want to do so, where you might want to close it, is where you're going to come in a half an hour before your meeting, and you're going to bring in a guest, or you want to have a discussion with them and get everyone settled and whatever, get yourself settled before you let your attendees in. That's how you do it. You use the open area, right?
Okay.
And just to cover it all off, and with what we were talking about with direct access links, I just clicked on the room 1 number, and I can create a direct access link, which is this, that will take people directly to the Zoom meeting. Now, where you might use that is in the case that I was just talking about, where you come on a half an hour early and you've got a special guest and you want to test the special guest setup, make sure everything's all happy, have a quick chat with them before you let attendees in. You can give them, this is what the direct access link looks like, right? So it's branded, first name, last name, email, and you can customize lots of that as well. In here, there's a little button.
Okay, so you
here.
create the single link under the Zoom area that you've set up.
Yep. So I'll look at that again. So I created Dr. Grant, and what we have right here is the meeting itself. So I click on one. I will agree with you if you're thinking that this is not entirely intuitive. I agree with you. It's not entirely intuitive. We do need to look at that. But when you click on one, that's the meeting room number 1. And then I hit enable direct access. And this is the link that you could give to a special guest. And so if everyone else is thinking about different events, when you have VIPs sometimes that are dropping in for a session and that's it, they don't necessarily need to see your dashboard. They don't need to go through all of that. They just need to get to the meeting that you want them to be in. You can use a direct room access link, and that will bring them in. And if you haven't started your event yet, you could toggle the area off so people don't get to come in. You do all your tests and everything. They test their screen share and their microphone and everything. You're all happy. You know what's happening. And then you open the area and now people come in. Okay.
Guess what? I think I can do this.
I think you totally can. And so I won't go into it now, but what you can do is the broadcast. You could send your emails out every week, as in you need to schedule it for every week. There's not an auto schedule, but you can create and duplicate and create those emails to go out, and they can have the login URL. If you put that in there, that's the URL for the attendee, and it will take them straight to their dashboard. That'll be their unique one. I won't.
Okay, I think I'm going to add that to phase 2. I think phase
Exactly.
1 is I'll practice building out the dashboard, set up a Zoom area,
Yep.
and then the Zoom area went. Oh gosh, then my button will. Then I'll have a button, right?
Then you create a button on the dashboard. Yep.
Okay, got it. All right. Okay, I know I'm now clouding you with a bunch of self-doubt, but I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Okay, well, thank you for your help.
No worries. And you can watch this recording is available immediately, right? So in fact it's right there now, and you can even go back over it. So
Okay.
If any time you can come back to the same link that you've joined, and on the dashboard is the recordings of these. Okay. And so you could just come straight back and you'll see the recording and you could watch it again.
Okay, super. All righty. I'm in the zone.
Muddy, anything I miss?
Yeah, well, nothing that you missed. One thing that you mentioned is that when you use the direct access link, it always brings people to a page where they have to put in their first name, last name, and email, right? So every single time they want to join the meeting, they have to do that. One of the things I put in the chat is if you have a super simple event, but you're going to do it over and over again, whether that's a recurring meeting or a webinar that you're going to run on some periodic basis. Another option is to build a dashboard, but a super simple dashboard. So I want to just give you 2 very quick examples. Here's one dashboard. This is using the Nifty 50 template. So all it has is a little welcome message. Welcome to this webinar. Welcome to this session. And on this side, it's a logo or an image and one button that says join live on Zoom. Right. So that's the only thing they can do is come here and join live on Zoom. But now this is branded. It looks nice. If they come back to this, you can send them their magic link and it automatically signs them in. Or if they've signed in before and come back to it, it will sign them in. And there's also, we use this About Us to create a little speaker page. This was for a client, Robert Strand. So this was one example of a little webinar. And this is a dashboard that he can use over and over again. It's super simple. And then another very quick example is same idea, but a different look and feel. This is a client event where they were using, they're using an app for all their communication, for posts. They have this kind of special branded app where they're doing all this stuff and the people can talk to each other. But we wanted to use Obvio for the Zoom portion, for the live calls. And so in the app, there's a button that says, join the meeting. And that link in the app brings them to this page. And it's a dashboard that signs them in. And there's just 2 buttons, one that says join Zoom and one that says basically go back to the app. But now there's also just a little welcome message, right? Welcome to the event. Glad that you're here. But this is all the dashboard is. It's basically just a button, but it has a nice feel to it. And if you're sending people their custom link, it reduces friction even further. They just click the button, and they're in. And so just wanted to present just another example that gives a little bit more polish than just a direct access link. The flip side is the direct access link, you can send the same link to everyone. So it's very easy to send to people. It just means they need to sign in first name, last name, email every time. And it just brings them right to Zoom. This way, you would send them to this simple dashboard with a custom link. So you're sending each person their custom link. But then it's kind of a little bit of a branded button to join Zoom. So anyway, just another quick example.
That's great. Thank you. Hey, Jeff. Did you get sorted with that room issue?
You know, I
Not
got
opening?
pulled away to some other things, so I got to circle back to it. But yeah, I wondered if that was you that replied. I'm going to go ahead and see if I could swap that out with a different room. And I don't know what happened with the original one. That was really strange.
Occasionally we've seen it, and I don't know if how long it was since you've last used it. If it has it been a little while, or probably not.
It's been a few months. Yeah, I use it when I meet the school administrator. School's just getting back in session, so it's probably been 2.5 months, maybe.
I don't know what I've just had it where I can't work out a frequency thing or anything, but I've just had it where somehow it's kind of dropped off of Zoom, or it's kind of gone into an inactive state or something. Have you seen that at all, Muddy, where you try to open a room and it doesn't do it, and so you create a new one?
Only once, and not recently.
No. So it's a funny one. And so we'd like to try to get to the bottom of it, but normally the way around it is you can create another room and you can delete the first room, but of course you want to watch if you've got some recordings or whatever and all of that. But that does fix it. But it's a workaround, and I'd like to try to see what it could be that's forcing that. Some inside baseball for you, which you may have already known, but there's users, the Zoom users that we create specifically for your event, but each Zoom user can have 2 meetings going at the same time, right? And so when you create, you could create area A and area B, and they both have 1 room in them each. They're both using the same user. It makes no difference to anyone, right? Like it makes a difference. It makes a difference to us. It makes no difference to you. You can still run both of those meetings at exactly the same time. It's all fine. They're technically using the same Zoom user. And so it depends on how it's created, because it's still only event-based. That doesn't go across events. It's still an event-specific user. But there could be something in there that if you're on the same event, using one of the areas regularly, the second one is probably fine and it keeps going along fine. If you're not using any of them, then maybe there's some sort of expiry that happens, or it just doesn't like it for some reason, because of the way that the licensing is working. So that's what ticks on my head, and I knew that you'd geek out on some of that. So it's just understanding that's what's going on in the background, right?
That's interesting.
And so by creating a new meeting, a new room, it might be creating a new user as well, or it might be tagging on to one that is previously there, but it's creating a new meeting, and now it's ready to go. And so yeah, it's certainly, particularly after a decent period where you're picking up on the event again, it's worth having a bit of time up your sleeve just to double check that it is going to launch properly and it's all okay. So
it's one of those that I usually, during the school year, I frequently, I'm in there multiple times a day, or very minimum multiple times a week. And so you don't think of it. It's like, oh, it always works. But then, after this little break,
in the summer, and
create a little note for myself next year so I don't run into that again.
All that happened is that your room went on a summer break and just didn't come back. So
I wish we
it's
could have
like, I'm
switched
done.
places. I would love to be on a beach somewhere, wherever it was in cyberspace.
Exactly.
Very
And then
good.
you
Thanks for checking
posted.
in on that.
No worries.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yes.
posted about the affiliate. So we've actually
Yeah.
we've had some meetings recently about our marketing page revamp, and that's all sort of tied into it. But what I have done, I just did on your account, Jeff, is I just added what is a promoter. So what you'll see when you log into Obvio again, you'll see in the profile menu in the top, there's now a little button there that says share Obvio.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Cool. So have a little play with that. It's still very much beta. We're using a third party called First Promoter, which handles all of the affiliate of all of that, and it's tied in through PayPal. And so essentially, the deal is that you are able to send out a unique link to potential subscribers, people that are going to sign up. And if they're successful, they successfully sign up, then you get a cut of that and ongoing for the life of their account. And so,
okay, very cool.
Yeah. So, but the way that that's sort of working at the moment, as you know, the main marketing site is not is not really. It's probably doing more damage than good at the moment. There's no actual payment page to speak of in there, but that link that you can access, you should actually have a link that you can share that will go to a payment page, and so you can have a little look at that, and it ties in an affiliate code essentially. So have a play around and kind of be a beta tester for us, because that process will be the same once our marketing site is done and it's imminent, and the payment process is through. One of our key requirements is that we can manage our affiliate codes so that you know, as a referrer code or whatever that ties it back to your account. So
yeah, that sounds great.
So Grant, could you enable it for me as well, please? Because we've referred a bunch of people in the past, and I don't think you had any place to put them. So I don't think we ever got paid a commission for those.
I can, yeah. It's, as I said, it's very much beta, potentially alpha. Okay. But I'm happy to do that and see how it rocks. So yeah, don't be surprised if it's not quite up to snuff, but have a play with it.
Don't worry, I won't put in any official complaints in when it doesn't work.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
We'll just gossip amongst ourselves, Grant, and bring it to the Wednesday calls.
That's right.
Yeah, I had someone reach out to me who's reached out before, like, hey, I need to understand Obvio. Like, what is Obvio? And so finally last week was like, I need to know what Obvio is. And so we had a little bit of a discussion, and I said, well, what's the best, like, send me the web page or something. I'm like, yeah, that ain't going to work. But tell you what, I'll hop on Zoom. I'll share my screen in my account, show you how I'm using it, how I think you could use it. And they're like, but then what? Like, is there a way to order it? And I was like, well, if you talk to me, I'll connect you with them. And they're like, I was like, listen, I was like, this is one of those things where, like, you're either in the circle and you're using it and you're connected, or you're not. And I was like, it's not available for public, but if you talk to someone who's using it, chances are we can connect you and make that happen. So, he's gonna, follow up with me and just wants to see a little bit more of what it looks like. And it's so funny to watch someone who doesn't really know what it is, see the possibilities, and all of a sudden their eyes get big and they light up and they go, oh my gosh, my people have been sitting in a waiting room, hundreds, and I pay this many people to click the button and let them in. Right. And are you telling me this could happen automatically? Yeah. It's just really neat.
Yeah, it is neat. I had that similar experience with actually quite a large company that is doing like exactly what, like an enrollment based thing, regular events, hundreds of people. They've got a big team you know, and so
Mm-hmm.
they've got they had a couple of developers that jumped on a call with me. I did this little demo, and just what was awesome is like I was confident that almost any question they asked about, you know, we'd be like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, it integrates with that. Yeah, it does that. You know, like, I mean, it should after 5 years, right? But it was like it was kind of cool to see that fresh excitement on people's faces. So yeah, that's nice to hear.
For those doing large
thank you.
events, it's the question becomes: do you want to keep spending a lot of money and wasting a lot of time and having your team do meaningless tasks, or do you want to pivot and focus on what really matters and let the tech do it for you? So
yeah, nice.
Pretty easy decision.
Well, yes, as soon as we get the marketing site in place and all of that process, then we'll at least, Blue and I will at least do like office hours and Zoom test kitchen and a few of those places where people are kicking in the tires anyway. And then that may be a good video to be able to send people as we do a little bit of a demo, sort of, you know, that type of thing. But we've just been reluctant to do that at the moment.
Yep.
So, Jason, you already have that share button on your account. So I don't know when, but you got it a while ago.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep.
I'll check it.
Okay. All right. There's still a couple of questions people have posted. Let me just check in on those. Ash will come to, so we tend to focus on the specific Obvio questions to start with, and then the general ones afterwards. So Ash, we can come to that in a little bit. Thank you. Muddy, sorry, you wanted to ask about forms, Teams access? Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, so a couple questions for an upcoming event. One related to forms. When you have a form that is turned on the waiver page, it becomes mandatory. We call it an intake survey. It becomes mandatory. It's also the very first thing they see, right? When they log into the site for the very first time, boom, they're hit with the intake survey. So at one point I put in a request to have a type of field that is just a type of question that is just a text question, because I want something at the top that says, welcome to the event. Please fill out the form below and sign the survey to access the event. And I've done it in the past where it was a short answer question, but then the question wasn't required. So basically it just had a blank below that welcome message, but it was technically a question. And the formatting I have right now, it's a black background. And so the input fields are kind of these white fields. And so it now really sticks out like a sore thumb. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just have it as a multiple choice question with no choices, right? So a radio type question, but no options. And I was like, I vaguely remember a couple of years ago that was essentially broke the system. That was a problem to have a multiple choice question with no choices. So checking to see if that's still, I seemed to do a test successfully, and so it seemed to work, but you know, I'm just about to launch it for 800 people, and so I don't want to find out it doesn't work. I thought that's the first question.
If it's working for you and you're testing, I think you're safe. That doesn't change the fact that we should have the ability to just have some text in there. Justin, have we got that listed anywhere? Hey, Justin.
We do now.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I submitted it as a feature request via email, you know, a couple of years ago or a while back, maybe a year and a half ago. And you know, it could be that that's a question type, or it could be that there's just a text field that's editable at the top of the.
I thought, and that's the thing. I thought that we had that, because that's exactly what I'm looking at. I was like, I thought we had. And obviously we don't, but
just the progress bar and then
but I was like, oh, so even if you do have the waiver on, you still only can do waiver text. I thought that at one point we had something in here that was
and maybe it's on some of the templates, but it's not on the classic template.
maybe.
But I don't remember ever seeing it anywhere. So
do you know what I'm talking about, Justin? This is like, as far as like, I thought there was like a little, hey, this is a waiver, like general intro text, and then it goes to the actual waiver text, and then the signature.
You did have that.
Funny enough, I thought we had it too, and I couldn't find it the other day either.
And it would need to be above the form.
Yep.
Because the waiver shows up below the form. Okay, that's the first question, and so I'll test it a little bit more thoroughly to make sure. But if it's good to know, like, if it seems to be working, then it seems to be working.
Yeah, and I'd double check. There shouldn't be it shouldn't be a front end thing, but I would just double check mobile devices and some different browsers just to be sure.
Okay.
But that would be a workaround for now.
Okay, that's the first question. The second question has to do with, there are two kind of related questions. It has to do with team access. So we're going to have a team with about 10 team members or so. And I want to be able.
Is your dog one of them?
Yeah. And I want them to be able to get in, because besides the main stage, we'll have a coaching zone, and people will be able to sign up. There'll be an enrollment lobby. We use the same area for an enrollment lobby after the offer, but it's a 5-day challenge, and people can sign up kind of the afternoon or the rest of the day. If it's a 2-hour challenge, then there's still like another 2 or 3 hours of time where people can book one-on-one coaching calls. And all that will happen in a coaching zone area, essentially an enrollment lobby. And so I want those coaches to be able to go in and get into those rooms when they need to. And so I want to do that through team access. I don't think there's any way to change the tag infrastructure that's used for that. Like, it's got to be those set team tags. And what we're talking about is a feature for enterprise that kind of creates a special little drop down on the dashboard for team members. And there's kind of a special tags you have to put in to do that. So that's fine. I can use those tags. The issue is I'm going to have this integrated with a CRM. So because people are registering on a landing page and a funnel, and then they're being brought in. And the issue I had with that event not too long ago was I added those team tags in Obvio. But then when the integration refreshed, it overwrote those tags and people couldn't get into the places they wanted to get. And so, and I don't know if all those team members are registered through the integration. So I guess what I'll need to do, and I guess I'm verifying the process, is what I really need to do is I need to register all those team members through that landing page or funnel so that they go into the CRM as attendees for the event, which will ultimately make sure that they're synced in Obvio. And then in that CRM, go and select those team members specifically and add the team access tags I want for them in the CRM so that they're then brought in as an integration. They're then synced through that integration. So, okay.
Yeah. So I would say that if all of your by creating the team access panel is essentially an attendee plus, so it's not a user, right?
Right.
But it's an attendee plus. And so if all of your attendees are getting their emails from a CRM, then all of your team should as well. And that, right? Yes. Have I lost you? You don't agree?
No, what I was thinking about is some past events that we've worked on where we uploaded all of that team info through a spreadsheet directly into Obvio. But what I'm remembering is we uploaded all of the attendees as well through a spreadsheet. It was not through a direct integration, or it was through an area direct access link or something like that.
Correct. Right. There was no CRM integration.
Got it.
And so that's why we had to do it that way. And that's why we had where they were managing sending all the emails out with a generic link.
Yeah, with a direct access link to the area.
Right. Yep. And we were handling all the scheduling of the broadcasting from Obvio because it was just for team. When you're doing it the right way, which is to have all of the attendees getting their own link, then have all the team do that as well.
Members and you may there as well.
Yeah. And
I
you
guess
may still schedule you might schedule a separate email for your team members.
Yeah.
And not just have them get the general one.
The messy thing is after the event, I'm going to need to go back into that CRM and remove all those team, because those people this client has lots of different events through the course of the year, and they will essentially have those team tags for every event they attend if I don't go back into the CRM and kind of remove all the team tags for those people after the event. Because it's not just staff, it's volunteers and other support people that may not have the same roles for other events. So it's fine. It just
I hear that.
That's why I was wondering if there was a way to specify like team dash event, right? So it's like a specific team.
Yeah, but you can achieve that same thing because your tag for making them an attendee in Obvio is unique.
True. But I mean, they may be attendees in other events as well, and but not team members in those events. So it's fine. It's a pros and cons, right? It's just it's fine, and it's just I'm going to go into the event. I'm going to go into the CRM before the event, add the tags, add one more checklist item to the to-do list is go into the CRM after the event and just clean up those tags. So yeah, no biggie. Cool.
So you integrate. You need to integrate because people are signing up during, or you're not changing that for the coaches though. I guess you don't need to. You give them access right from the start. Is that what would happen? Excuse me.
Help me understand your question.
I was thinking, and maybe it doesn't need to be this way, because you're like, okay, there's 10 extra sessions that are created or 10 extra rooms. You give the right access to those individuals right from the start. And now the scheduling that happens for the attendees that are joining those is where the automation comes in. I was wondering whether you were also automating the team member that gets access to that as well.
Team members have access through the whole event.
They just have it the whole time. Yeah.
Attendees are signing up through the course of the challenge. They're booking a 30-minute slot with one of the coaches or something like that. So
yeah. I would. I think I would end up creating unique contacts in the CRM, so that there's Muddy, and then there's Muddy Coach, or Muddy whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Yeah, right. I hadn't considered that, and they just need to use.
It could be a different email.
Yeah, plus addresses or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but some CRMs allow. Annoyingly allow the same contact to have the emails, like Keep, for example. Keep allows you to have the same have contact with the same email across multiple contacts. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's its own problem, but yeah.
All right.
But
thank you for
indulging. You're totally on track. You're totally on track. As soon as you do a CRM, the syncing is very complicated with syncing tags. And the best way to keep it in sync is to overwrite all tags that are there, because you can't constantly be looking at what tags are there and then trying to sync them back. It's essentially a one-way sync, pushing whatever the CRM is.
And it's a one-way override. It's not an addition.
Correct.
It's keep what tags are there and add the rest. It wipes out whatever's there. So
that's right. Because
I understand that.
Because otherwise, if you created something in the CRM accidentally, it would never get deleted. Right.
Right.
So if it was just like, oh, whoops, I gave it a red tag and it's supposed to be blue, now it's got red and blue, unless you do overwrite. And so that's a choice. It's not ideal, but it is there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
No worries.
And granted is
Yes.
on our list for the future to actually have the ability to add Obvio tags that are not CRM tags. But it is a future item on the to-do list to actually cover
cool.
the exact case that Muddy kind of talked about.
Yeah. Okay. Let me check here. Still got David. Does an individual participant's Obvio dashboard link allow for providing personalized material, a personalized PDF chart, for example, for that specific participant? It's a good question, David. It doesn't necessarily, but well, I guess you say yes, but it's just that functionality doesn't exist within Obvio. However, you can use custom fields essentially that pass first name, last name, email, groups, things like that can be passed in a URL. And so if you had another system that could generate a PDF on the fly, as an example, with that uses fields or merge fields or whatever term you want to use, and could take that from a URL, then you could do that in your dashboard. So dashboards links can have those ones, as I said, first name, last name, email. And the reason that we have that there is that for lots of different ways. If, for example, you want to send someone off to a third party a shopping cart and it accepts URL parameters, first name, last name, email, then you can pre-populate that on a shopping cart, for example. So you click on the link on the dashboard, you'll see it in the URL, your first name, last name, email is there, and it passes that through. Passes as in PARSE, just to geek out a little bit. Passes that through to the shopping cart, and now it's pre-populating. So if you think about using that, you could potentially have some sort of script. It's a custom development, but it could be a script that generates a PDF using the data that's in the URL parameter and would generate it. The only other thing that there could be is using the certificates functionality as well. So certificates is a PDF. It can be designed however you want, and then you place in their name, and you can do that in a certificate as well. So that is a Obvio built-in functionality.
Okay, so if I was using the certificates route with that, and then there's individual consultation part of it, and I can use the dashboard for both, right? If I've got 50 people in a program, but I'm also doing one-to-one consultations, I can also do those consultations using the Obvio dashboard for that individual.
Sure, you can.
So yeah,
just a very small event. Right? It's an event with one person. So yes, it's fine.
Okay. And so I'm assigning a certificate, that individual certificate, to that person's dashboard link, which means that it will appear exclusively on their dashboard.
You can do that. Yes. Yes. And so
or use a URL, as you mentioned.
That's right. Well, I guess there's a couple of different ways of that. If it's a general content PDF but has a couple of things in it, then the certificate route could work, because you're taking the PDF and then you're just plugging in their name, for example. And even though it may not technically be a certificate, it is a PDF with their name and their other stuff on it. The other way is, and this might be easier, is that you create 50 of these PDFs. You just generate them yourself, and you tag each of your people with a specific tag, and now you can say that it's DG is the tag, and so now you just put in this specific PDF, and then the visibility rules for that is only for tag DG, and now you're the only one that will get access to that link. And David, this is your personalized PDF. Click here. So it's a slow process, but it would work. It would work fine. If you needed to do it for 1,000 people, you want to come up with a different way, but for 50, it'd be fine. Yep. Let me check the chat there. Give me a line. Okay, add a line to note the next date for meeting them. See the next pod meeting. You can schedule, you can have a blog post on the dashboard, display at a certain time and hide at a certain time. So it's not necessarily saying that you're automating the date that appears in there, but what you can do is sort of create 4 or 5 blog posts with all those dates, and then tell it when to turn on and off, and so that the right one will appear at the right time. So it's a semi-automatic thing, right? Because you're having to add them all at one point, and then setting the display visibility from and to certain times, and so you can do that. I have, you could add 12 for the year. You could totally do that, and you do it on one day, and it's now set, and you've set all your schedules and everything, and it's all done. The only other thing that I've seen, which is sort of related, is Blue did a really cool setup with what Muddy was talking about before, with setting appointments, and it was tying back into Calendly, and then it would, with Zapier, was taking their time slot and making a group field, and populating a group field in Obvio, and was then able to display that group value on the dashboard, which is really cool, because what you're able to do is a button for, this is an advanced level move, but you just store this in the back of your head that you may want to do this one day, right? What you're doing is you're saying book an appointment is your button, and only show the book an appointment button if the date group value is not filled. So it'll just show it. You click on it, goes to Calendly, you book an appointment. Zapier picks that up, takes the date and time, puts it into a group field in Obvio. Now on Obvio, automatically it turns off the button to book an appointment, because you already have, and now instead shows, thanks for booking your appointment. We're looking forward to seeing you on January 1st, at 4 p.m. Very sweet. Those things I really like, because it's the interactive and dynamic nature of the dashboard that scales beautifully. Works great big, it works great small. It's one of those things that you can, on the day of the event, you just know that it's just going to handle it. And there's those little VIP tags. It's the same type of idea when you're doing upgrades mid-event. You want to sell a VIP upgrade for people mid-event, you can do that same thing, where now something else disappears and a big banner shows VIP, thanks for being a VIP, or whatever it is, those sorts of things. So I went on a tangent there, but there is some opportunity there. But Kat, it's totally doable, the idea to just create simple blog posts that says, looking forward to seeing you at our next pod meeting XXX, whenever that is. make 12 of those. It makes your dashboard a little bit busy in the editor, but when you're looking at it as an attendee, it's just showing the next one. You know, makes that easy. Okay. Okay, Jacqueline is here. Does having the unique link and the 2 Zooms going at the same time mean we could do regular and VIP at the same time and cut one room off when the regular finishes? You absolutely can. However, the thing to consider with that is that Obvio doesn't connect those 2 meetings, right? So those 2 meetings are distinct, which means that for the main program, you're going to want content, the video and audio, to be sent into both of those meetings separately. So it becomes a bit of a production challenge, and depending on the setup, and if you have a production team, and if you do that, it's reasonably straightforward, but it does take a process to be able to do that. And you have to think through too, if you are doing any laser coaching, live Q&A, any of that sort of stuff, that you have to think about, if someone's talking in the VIP room, are they being heard in the regular room? And so that requires some production setup as well, a soundboard and vision switcher and things like that. So it does change it. Things like if you're using screen share doesn't work now, right? Because if you're screen sharing into one meeting but not in the other, so now screen share moves to a vision switcher that can bring your presentation in, as example, your slides, and do a side by side. So there's some advantages. You want to just unmute, or we can play charades.
No. Oh, thank you.
Right.
What I'm thinking is, what if I have another? Okay, this is what I've seen, and you tell me if it's doable, because it's been on Avio. I came from Pedro Adeo's world. So
Okay.
could it be that the main stage is then taken, like, okay, maybe I have my my second laptop or my second Zoom as a participant? Is that possible? Like my second, the people in the regular Zoom, could they be a participant for that room? I'm just throwing it.
So let me just step back. A key thing that you're trying to achieve is a VIP session, right? Like as in a post session. So yes and no. Okay. So one thing that I have seen people do that can be quite simple is creating a VIP session, which is a separate room, but it's just for that time. So an advantage with that is that you can do a little bit of simultaneous as the regular room is finishing. You can start the VIP room. All of your VIPs, you say, just go back to the dashboard. You'll see the VIP button, join that. They all go there. And now your regular room can kind of taper off without kicking them all out. Like you play some music and your slides and whatever, and it just finishes off. Also, that's an opportunity to upsell to VIP, right? And so you have links in there to upsell to VIP. That flips a tag on their contact that makes them VIP. The VIP button now appears on the dashboard, and now they're in the VIP post session. Where we also use that for people thinking about this is often for a welcome celebration lunch, for example. People that have signed up to your program get to come to a lunch session where you welcome everyone. You just celebrate all the people that signed up. Exactly the same process. Your regular meeting's still going. You create a VIP lunch only for the people that have signed up, and now they jump over to that for the lunchtime, spend 45 minutes with you, and then they go back to the regular room. What is it that is a little bit different to that? Is it wanting to create a unique experience throughout the regular meeting for the VIPs as well?
I wanted to make sure that I had that I'm capturing. I wanted to keep everything simple. I kind of wanted to stay away from the dashboard and do like that simple one link for everything, that sort of thing. So that's what I was thinking. Could I do that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yep. Well, like lots of things, it can be easy on one part of it and much more complicated on another part, and you have to make the compromises there, right? So yes, it can be easier. You can essentially have the same link for everyone, and then depending on if they have the VIP tag or not, you can assign them to a particular room, and you can have 2 rooms going. But as I said, it definitely increases the production aspect, and it gets a little bit more, well, quite a bit more complicated. If you're just used to just doing it directly on a computer and just going directly into that Zoom meeting, then I'd be looking at other ways of doing it. And if you are turning on that dashboard experience, you can think about all those other things that advantages that gives you. One of those is sort of the agenda. When I say agenda, it's more like the day start time is the key thing, particularly when you cross time zones, because that dashboard agenda is shown in the time zone of the people. And so it's super clear. That's one thing that I really like. I think about that. And I also think about potentially a video that people get to watch if they want to before the event even starts. And that can just be a great warm up for them. And so just a couple of those things on that dashboard experience, particularly for people that go early, right? So if you use a direct access link or something similar, essentially anyone that comes before your event started is just going to get a room is offline, or, offline little message. It's not a great experience, right? It is really nice that they can come and hang out on the dashboard for a little bit, have a look at some of the resources. Can they access your workbook that you might have, or whatever it all is? That's all there, and they're now able to access that before your event even starts, and then they've got the option to go to the normal meeting and then the VIP afterwards. I have also seen, if you didn't want them to have to leave, where you could, depending on how you wanted to do it and how many people you had, you can push all the non-VIPs into a breakout room at the end of the meeting, let them hang out in there, do their little wrap-ups and whatever, and now your VIPs are all in your main room. Or you could vice versa, send all of your VIPs into a breakout room and do your little VIP session there, and still have your regular attendees are still just finishing off in the main meeting. It's another option. No worries. It's good challenges to have, and I honestly think that VIP is a great experience, a good way of doing it. There's someone I was working with recently had 5,000 attendees, and it's all free. And then a 3-day event, all free. Gets to the end of each day and does like a little Q&A session and things. I was just like, it's just a missed opportunity to not have like a $20 upgrade to VIP, and do a Q&A, a free Q&A, no, an included VIP session for Q&A. And it's just like, it's just going to cover some costs for you, right? Like, and people feel special. They've dived in. And so it depends if you're doing a freemium sort of model, so anyway, lots to think about there. Ash, you've been very patient. You're not used to not talking for this long, are you, Ash?
No, I'm not used to that. But I was on. I had a couple other things. I finished that up. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Very good. So
I have
can
a
we
couple of
can
questions. Go ahead, sir.
the
Go
Zoom
ahead.
link?
Yes, the
Zoom
Zoom
link for
link issue.
Obvio.
I need to. So my business is set up quite differently. So I really want to on the dashboard perspective, when should I tell? I mean, when should I say, okay, I'm ready to build out my dashboard? One, right? And do I need a full-blown dashboard? So those are two questions I have. Just because I do different types of events. I mean, the 3-day event I want to do for sure, right? But then I also do. I also wanted to. I was thinking to host the webinar, through the Obvio platform as well. And then I also have as you know, my daily wealth manifestations that I
Mm-hmm.
do, and I really want to have them on our platform just because the quality I think would be great. But my hang up, it's only one hang up, and I don't know how to fix that hang up. I've talked to my tech team to see if they can help. But I'm really is the only one hang up is how do I export everything onto Vimeo? And what have you, and on an automated basis. If there's a way, oh my God, that would be a big time saver. But okay, I'll let you answer the questions.
Well, now I'm just thinking about Vimeo. Yeah. I don't think there is an easy way on that.
Not even Zapier, like you don't have Zapier either, right? With that,
Not with recordings.
not with recordings,
There
seriously.
could it could be an API thing there.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, Membership.io does do it, which was searchy before. But so maybe you just need to manifest some more income to pay for membership.
No, it's not that. I already have that. I was just trying to make it because I have everything stored in Vimeo, and it's so
Yeah,
much easier to have it in one place than trying to go to like a little bit here and a little bit there, that kind of thing. So I was trying to just
fair
make my
enough.
life a little easier. I kind of
Membership, if
figured.
you've Membership.io, which was searchy, has an integration with Obvio where it will
Oh,
take the recordings in,
it
and
would.
so yeah,
Okay, then I'll take
so
that
you
for now.
you
Okay.
could play with that.
Yeah, I mean at
And
least it is. So go ahead, please.
sorry, I went deep on that and thinking about that and forgot the first part of the question. What was the first part of your question before the
The
Vimeo
first
thing?
part of the question, when do I ask you guys for the dashboard? And I have like multiple events going on, multiple types of events, type of thing. So
Yeah,
how do I go about that? Because some events I already have Mighty Networks. So my daily wealth manifestation and things like that I do on daily basis, that get recorded every day, right? So
yeah,
and hence my request for the Vimeo because it just
yeah.
probably a lot more storage available, right? So um how would I do that, and can I do the webinar? So basically like 3-day event and a webinar can be on Avio, right? And
Hmm.
then if I can just have the Zoom link just so that I can insert that into the Mighty Networks, right? Then I can just say when they click on Mighty Networks to join the Zoom, they're actually joining Avio link. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So that's using you can use the direct access link that takes them straight into Zoom, right? So if you're wanting to do it still in Obvio, but you want to bypass the dashboard, then
Yeah.
you can do that by earlier we were showing about the direct access link. I can show you quickly again.
Yeah, can you please?
Yep.
Because
So in
I'm
Zoom
I'm in I'm
areas,
in the area right now. Go ahead.
yep, Zoom area, and then
Yeah.
go to the Zoom area, and then if you click on the number 1 here, which is the Zoom meeting, it's a Zoom room, and then enable direct room access.
Okay.
And now that's your link. And
That's my link. Okay.
That's the generic link. So as long as you've started the meeting, so you opened it and then start,
Yep.
and you've
Mm-hmm.
got someone in there, then
Mm-hmm.
it'll join. If you don't have it open, on this page, it's going to say offline. And so that's what happens here. People will enter their details, hit join room. If it's offline, it'll just say room is offline. Otherwise, it'll just redirect and take them straight into Zoom.
Straight into Zoom. Okay, I see.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then as far as my webinar, would you recommend doing it through Avio, or should I just use my Go High Level and have my team create the pages and all that stuff?
I would do all the pages still in the CRM and in High Level, and then the actual event, I would do it through Obvio, and I would have a dashboard and things. All those things that I was just saying about it being a temporary membership site for before, during, and after that webinar, means that they've always got something that they're seeing, versus clicking a link and it says waiting for host to start meeting, or host has joined meeting and waiting for them to we've let them know that you're here, whatever that is. You can have a much more customized experience, branded experience, that they go to a dashboard. Maybe they've got a couple of resources that they can access, or some videos, or whatever it is, and then a nice big button that takes them. And then there's a custom offline message as well. Hey, just a reminder, we're going to open our doors 20 minutes before, 30 minutes before, or whatever it is. Until then, watch this video as a primer for what we're going to be talking about, whatever. It's a way better experience than because the other thing is, you want to separate yourself from just another boring Zoom business meeting. People get Zoom links in their email all day. Now they go, oh, this is different. This looks great. I click this. Oh, dashboard. That's different. I'll click this button to join Zoom. Okay, it's offline, but I've got this other branded nice stuff that's going on. Okay, it's open now. Bang, they go into the meeting. It's just a whole different experience. So
okay, so
I would recommend that.
So if they're in the webinar and they sign up for my 3-day event, from the webinar, right? Will it automatically recognize that they have signed up for the event and so forth, and then put them into that particular dashboard? Is that how it will work? Because I'm going to assume it's 2 different dashboards, right?
Yep.
For webinar and for 3-day event.
Yep. So yes, you can tie that back through that, through your CRM. They've signed up and they're now in your 3-day event. The Obvio event is looking for that tag and sees that they're there. Obvio creates the unique login link for them, and you decide on when you send that to them. But that goes out, and that can be, like weeks before your event even starts. It can be the Obvio dashboard can be like here you are, thanks for joining, welcome. And here's what you have access to before the event starts in 3 weeks or whatever. A countdown that shows when the event starts, the 3-day event, and a couple of videos that get them excited about it. And that's all on Obvio, right? So
that's all on Obvio.
As Marty says, sales pages are best through CRMs. Absolutely, that's what they're designed to do.
Sure.
And so you do all of that through them, and then tie in the Obvio part for them to have the actual event experience.
Okay, and all the reminders and all that, does that go through Obvio at some point, or no?
No, if you're doing the key bit of information that you want from Obvio is the unique login link, like the magic link that gets them into the Obvio dashboard. And because that, when it's integrated, is in High Level, it makes way more sense that you do all of your reminders and everything through High Level.
Okay.
And then you just have them come over, for the event.
Okay. All right. That's it
Have
for
a
now.
play with it. Yep.
I will.
Have a play
Thanks.
with the integration with membership.
Yeah.
IO.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Kat has a
Cool.
question, I think so.
Thanks, Ash. You designed the marketplace. If we're to do all of our emailing through our CRM, what use does the marketplace serve for communication?
Marketplace is for people that do not have a CRM.
Okay, that was
Yep.
my question. Okay.
Yep. So it's entry level, and it really is just trying to plug a hole for people who are just starting out. They just need a way to sell a ticket to their event, and they haven't got anything else set up yet, and they just want to get the ball rolling. They want to get their first.
They might have a
Yeah.
landing page.
Yeah. So terminology is tricky because language fails us. But landing pages and sales pages can be the same thing. Jason could talk more about this in detail, but there's different terms, right, for a landing page. What's your take on that, Jason? The different terms.
Oh, when we say landing page, I mean, it's a very generic term. But these days, we're normally talking about a very, very simple thing at the top, maybe a couple of paragraphs, and then saying, "Do you want this?" It's normally for getting a lead magnet, right? It's more, do you want my lead magnet? If you do, type your name and email address in here, submit.
Yeah.
A sales page is normally referring to something much more complex, like it's got a video at the top and there's loads of information down because it's selling an offer that where money is going to be transacting. There's a bigger decision to be made. So it's a
That's a good
sales
distinction.
page. It's a page for selling, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a landing page is really purely, oh, welcome, click here if you want to see more of our stuff.
Yeah.
So when Barry and Blue sell TVE, they're putting forward sales page. Yes?
Well,
Yes,
they do. Yeah. They do landing pages as well. Yeah, as in, because they do webinars leading up to it, right? And so there can be like, access this free webinar, starts in 2 hours type thing. That's essentially a landing page. And then there's sales pages where you're actually giving decent money, often, or it's selling something more. A landing page can also link to multiple sales pages, right? You want to sign up for this, you want to sign up for that, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, like it could link off. So essentially we're talking about funnels now, right? Like we're talking about the most amount of people are doing something free, and then they're signing up to get a newsletter or a free ebook or whatever it is, and then they're moving on to, okay, now I want to attend the 3-day event. It's going to cost X amount, and there's that whole process. So the marketplace in Obvio is really a sales page. It's not really a landing page per se. It's designed to sell a ticket to an event, and it's just the entry level. You're expecting 10 people to come to your event and pay you $100, and you need a way to get that $100, and you can do it now without a CRM and whatever. However, as I said in length at the start, if you think about where you're going to end up, chances are you're going to need a CRM, and it might make the most sense just to get that set up straight away and then build on it from there. So,
got it. Thank you very much.
No worries. Good questions today. Just check. We still had Okay. Dr. Jill. Yes. Can I add my Fathom recorder as an attendee to Obvio Zoom meeting and let it record? Generally not. Sorry. So the same security that prevents people just sharing their links is the same security that prevents meeting recorders coming in. And what it is a registration requirement. So in the
There's not a way
background,
to register the Fathom recorder or anything.
sorry, say that again.
Not a way to register it. I guess there's not a way to give it, personhood in my CRM.
Yeah. Not yet, as in it, we're getting increasing numbers of inquiries about this. And we're looking at ways to do it. Not all of the recorders allow you to sort of give it a unique link, but some of them do. Some of them you can give it a registration link, and now it's technically registered with Zoom, and it joins the meeting, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And we've had success with that. The problem is we don't have a front end way for you to access that registration link as it stands.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is Blue was helping me yesterday to try to, I want to get better data from Zoom about who is in the meeting. And when people, I ran a workshop on Saturday, and so some of the people, they registered through my CRM, through my landing page, blah, blah, blah. And when they showed up in Zoom, some of them had first names, some of them had first and last names, some of them had family members' names, right? Because people hop on Zoom with other names all the time. The problem is that Zoom doesn't notice when you correct the name. It just gives a report that has the original name. And so someone signed up for a call with me on Friday, and I was trying to figure out, did she actually show? Because she had registered, and I was able to Google her and find a family member with the last name of, and then I remember, but you don't want to do that, right? So
No.
I asked Lou about, whether I should just make them register in Zoom before they come in. And he said, well, you can do that in Obvio, and you can just set up the room there without having to set up the whole dashboard. And he showed me how. I'm struggling with it a little bit, but I'll work on it and come back next week, I hope, if I'm not coaching at that time. But in the meantime, I wanted to ask, because Fathom, the thing about Fathom, if you've ever used it, is the transcript links to the recording. So from that point of view, it's really valuable. And I normally include it in all of my Zoom meetings. Okay, well, I figured that was the answer, but thank you.
So yeah, I guess it sounds like the couple of challenges that you got would in part way be solved with doing even a direct access link to an Obvio meeting. What you have then is the names. The names will likely be better because they'll be first name and
They will
last
have to
name and
enter them.
not iPad or whatever, right? Because people
Oh yeah,
will enter
iPhone
it.
2. iPhone
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
that's a popular one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's
But
what he suggested.
the recording is the second part. I just wanted to add that when you're doing the cloud recording through Obvio, you are getting the transcript as well.
Right.
And so you can see you get both the transcript of what people said. You also get the chat log.
Yeah, you get what you get in a
Everything
normal
is
Zoom
chat.
meeting. Yeah. Do you, so that when I did that and it gave me that link to use to send people, and he said he thought I might be able to make that work with my CRM to make it like a magic, whatever you guys call it, a personalized magic link,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if I can do that with my CRM or not, but I didn't get that far. But even if I can only do what I had today, is there a way to, do you have other people on the queue, or can I ask one more question?
You ask another question.
Okay.
So
So
before you
I,
ask, can I answer the one you just asked?
Yes.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
Let me answer the one you just asked about the link. So yes, in Go High Level Coach Box, you can absolutely do that link. The easiest way to do it for you is to stick it in the text of the message, is get it all working, and then copy it into the actual link box. So you can totally do what Blue suggested inside of Go High Level. Reach out to me if you get stuck on it. I've done it several
usually
times
what I
for
do is
exactly.
I just Google, how do I do it in Go High Level? And then it's the same thing in Coach
Yep.
Box.
Exactly.
The other, yeah, I figured I knew that I could ask you if I needed help with it.
Yep. I've done it
Because
several
I don't
times.
want to do a whole dashboard for the smaller workshops. It's just probably not worth it. But the little registration page and the Zoom room page that it gave me, I was able to put a background on it, a background color, but I couldn't put a logo on that page. Is that correct? And when I tried to put my logo in as the background image, it came out big and fuzzy and hidden by the right panel. And I couldn't figure out a way around that. I mean, I could just leave it as the blank thing and not, people are just coming in and it's not a big deal, but is there a
No,
way
you
to at least?
totally there is. Yep. So where you'll find to edit that that join page is by editing the design of what is the login page.
Right, that's where I
So
was.
Okay, so then that's interesting.
Can I share my screen?
You
Probably
can if you
not.
like. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
you can.
okay.
Let me make sure it's
Sure,
on.
okay. Oh, send request, okay.
It's okay. Yep. So Justin, just a note that I think something might have changed where the scripts are now running in the editor and they didn't used to. And so
when
on the
yeah.
Yep.
When
So
I go in here,
Yep.
so I disabled, when I tried to do the background image, that didn't work. And then I tried making it smaller. It does really funky things. So I ended up, if I remove that and then just go with the styling, this is one of the colors from my website. It's the color of the background on the logo.
Sure.
But I'd love to have something in here.
Yeah. Just hover up into the corner of that gray. It's not there.
I found there, at one point, I found a place. No, nothing's. The only one I can see is this one on the login. And if I go to the sign up, it let me do that.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Is there a way to do that?
Go to hover over that logo. Yeah. Click on that. And now you've got the styling of that. So if you click on style, you can make that bigger.
Okay. But that's only on this, that's on the sign up page. Okay.
That's on that'll be on all those pages.
Will it go on the other one now that it's on? That's interesting because when I tried to do that on the sign up page before, it wouldn't take. So I don't know what I did differently now. But thank you.
Okay.
That just, I mean, that just looks, I'll play with the size, but that looks just so much better than this blank page.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'll
you can
play with it
customize the colors of those fields as well, the first name, last name, email. You can turn off the rounded, you can and you can change all the text in that as well. So there's lots that you can play around with.
If I make them both 35, then it. No, that's weird. No, they come out different. Okay. Those were both 35, but they come out looking different, although maybe not in the preview. I will play with it. I'm already much happier than I was with it, so.
Okay, great. They should stay in sync.
Okay.
If you make a change on one, it should change on the other. So
Okay,
it might have
thank
just
you so
taken a
much.
moment. No worries.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Really getting close to needing to go, but we have did Ash still Ash is gone. Okay, it's all good. That was that one. Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? All right. Good one. 2 hours exactly. Thank you, everyone. Let's do it all again next week. And we'll have a little chat and see what we come up with next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.